It's okay. It's not that bad. Well,
It's not that bad. I want it to be good, Matteo.
now it's good. Now it's good. Now it's really good. Yeah. I think you're good. What about me? Does that sound good?
You sound beautiful, Matteo.
Wow.
You sound like you're the hardest working man in Bitcoin.
I thought that was you.
No,
No?
you
Okay.
got me beat.
Ah, okay. Wow.
You're running a profitable company with a Bitcoin treasury.
Can you believe that?
And everyone doubted you.
Hard to believe, huh? Okay, so how do you want to play this? Should we wait for people to come in? We have like 10 people now.
Well, I guess we can get rolling.
Yeah.
Should we post this in a bunch of groups or what?
I already did. Copy link. Let's put it somewhere else here. Let's put it into the. Here we go. We are live. We are live. Bang. Yeah, I put on the group chat on Orange Pull Up, and maybe we'll do it on Telegram too. There we go. We are live. There you go.
So, Matteo, price is down, but bullishness for investing in Bitcoin companies is up. What do you think?
Yeah, I haven't even checked the price in a while. What is the price? Let's see. 83,684. I love it. More sats for us.
All right. Well, as people are getting in here, assuming that people do join us here for all the fun, how is life? How is the Orange Pill app? Everyone's geo zapping left and right. My wife, Anna, opened her Orange Pill app and she was pretty shocked to see that she had a bunch of sats in the wallet. She was pretty thrilled.
You know, people ask me if this is a scam because usually people ask to send them sats, and now here the people like where are these sats coming from? What's going on? Is it safe? And so some people don't read the emails, the beautiful emails that I make hours and hours, and I send them out. They don't read them. So yeah, I mean it's going pretty. I mean it's going amazing. We have done now. Let's see. At least 300,000 transactions, maybe more. Let's find out. Tell you the exact amount is here. Transactions number is, as of right now, wow, 367,000. We launched February 19, which is like a month and a half ago, maybe less. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, we do a lot of transaction, which is great.
So that's 357,000 transactions.
Yeah.
That's
Correct.
crazy. Is most of it just one or two sats? I mean, I've had a few that have probably been, I don't know, 50 or more sats. You know, when we hit that dollar parity, that's going to be a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean mostly like small. I could check. I don't know. I can tell you the average. Let's see. No, I cannot tell the average. I can tell you the average per day. It's 959,000. I guess if you divide it by average transaction rate. Okay, let's see. So 959,842 divided 11,647. So the average is 82 sats per transaction. It's higher than what I imagined. Yeah.
So adding an app to the wallet ended up being a good move after all.
I know where
Sure
you're
as heck
going
makes
with
it
this.
fun.
I know where you're going with this, Mike. But
I
yes,
wasn't going anywhere with it. I was
yeah,
just saying.
yeah, I know. It's all your credit. You told me from the beginning. Add a wallet, add a wallet, add a wallet. Well, the reality is that we couldn't do it. Honestly, we couldn't do it last. We couldn't do it with the previous administration. Let's be honest. And so, you know, once Trump won the election, I told my developer the first thing we're gonna do is launch a wallet, because obviously, it's a pro Bitcoin, pro crypto administration, and yeah, no, it was a great idea. I mean, it's we got a lot of sign up. I think March we're gonna make a new all-time high record for sign up, pretty sure, and yeah, people love it, and we're doing things that they're not been possible until Orange Pill app, like geo zapping, right? It's if you don't have the approximate location of the people, you cannot do geo zap. And so, yeah, we're doing things that are definitely novel use cases for the Lightning Network, which people love that stuff.
Well, we've seen a lot of updates from the Orange Pill app since the beginning. I remembered I told you that I thought it would be a good idea to have a web app access in the browser. And and it was something like, Mike, we're never gonna do that. It's app only, Mike. And
Mike,
I have to say,
I need to make you product manager. Are you applying?
It's my best Matteo impersonation. We have a few of those that around the Lightning Ventures office, but yeah, it's really convenient to be able to log in and then have multiple profiles and everything else. Like, it's definitely very, very cool and useful.
Yeah, no, the web it's in some way the web app is more advanced because we don't have to when we do changes on the web app, we don't have to submit to Apple and Google. You just refresh the browser and they're there. There is no permission, so it's way more Bitcoin than a mobile app. So there are things, for example, we just released yesterday like proximity zaps, which is not GeoZap. So GeoZap, it's you type a city or a country and you zap everybody in that city or country. Now, on the web app and next week on the app as well, you can just type a distance. So you can type 5 miles, and everybody that's 5 miles from you will get the sats. So we call them proximity zaps. How do you like that?
I like it, but when you're putting in the zaps, and you put that proximity, does the app automatically searches and locates kind of everyone within that proximity and then tells you? Because then you have to set how many per. So if you put 5 miles and it returns a result of like 4,000 people or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So, we have a database, right? And in the database, we have the last known location of the user, right? Whether it's yesterday, 1 month ago, or 1 year ago, it's the last known. And so when we query the database, say, hey, give me all the user within 21 miles from this location, it's like it's like a second. It's just a database query, and then we show you how many. So for example, 21 miles from me, I'm in Los Angeles, so we have a lot of people. It's 114 people. So, and then I can say, okay, how many sats? 2 sats. And then you just, total 228. Yeah. So we had the location of everybody. I mean, approximate location.
So yeah, I didn't want to really let the cat get out of the bag, too soon here. But if you're a Bitcoin startup, and I see that Sats Back is in here, like if you're a Bitcoin startup, there's Satagram, right? We had Bob in yesterday, which Satagram is really cool. And you've basically built your own version of that, which is really cool. And a lot of the zaps that I've been getting are people with their own podcast or, Bitcoin related channel or something. Like, it's just incredibly powerful to click everyone And like Sats Back, for example, like why wouldn't they click everyone with, you know, a sat and give them a code or a promo code or a link or something? And, you know, if you're in Bitcoin and you would pretty much stand on your head for 10 free sats, which we all will because we're psychotic, you know, that to me is like the best way to, in a blink, reach, I don't know, 20,000 people. I mean, what's the number, by the way?
If you zap everybody, it would be, let's see, I think it's 41,000 people. So if you type Earth, 42,225.
Now, how does that work? Because you say it's 42,000, but you have maybe 20 some thousand paid, you know, users.
Yeah. So so the way it works is that so here's how it works. When we launched the wallet, we gave everybody in our database a wallet address. Whether they have a membership or not is beside the point. Because sometimes people cancel and then they rejoin, right? So even if you don't have a membership, you still get the sats in your Orange Pillar wallet, but to use them, you have to get a membership, right? So you can't move them or you can't do anything without getting a membership. But they'll get an email that says, you know, Mike send you 10 sats, and you can add a message, right? So you can say, you know, I don't know, download this app, or I mean, so for example, there is a guy on YouTube that every time he makes a new video, it just up everybody with one sat, say, hey, new video about tariffs and Bitcoin, and a link which now are clickable to the YouTube video. So that's kind of like the easiest. I mean, it's got to be the cheapest marketing you can do in Bitcoin. You know, because the people that we have in our database, whether they have a membership or not, you know, they're obviously like Bitcoiner, right? Because otherwise, they wouldn't download the app to begin with. So yeah, when you do Earth or everyone, you zap everybody in our database, not just the active member.
So right now the wallet is a feature of the app, but the wallet doesn't bring any monetization to you just yet.
No, we do. We take a 1% commission when you withdraw from the wallet to an external wallet. Everything else is free. So depositing is free. Sending sats in the app is always free. When you withdraw, we take 1%, which is, you know, very small, but pays for the infrastructure costs and developers. Hopefully, you know.
No, I mean, I understand it. I mean, you have to make money and it's super powerful. Matteo, I don't know if it's possible to like pin one of those tweets that kind of lists your deal in this thing, or however that works. I think you're much more of a Spaces pro.
No, this is my first space, so I don't know. But what do you want to do?
I don't know. I thought you could like pin a tweet or something that lists the Thunder Funder link in here somewhere. My wife likes that idea. She has a thumb up, so that's.
I saw that. I don't know, man. This is really usually it's Brian that does this stuff, so I don't really know how to do this stuff.
Well, where is Brian?
He's in the mountain. He's in the mountain.
They don't have spaces in the mountain, Matteo?
I don't know, man. I guess.
All right. Well, listen.
Mountain.
So let's first off plug your deal for fun, and then let's dig into how you've managed to raise you know, a small pre-seed round and build a profitable company with a hefty Bitcoin treasury, which is no easy task. You know, in the face of everyone doubting you and laughing at you, saying that no one is going to want to use a social app for Bitcoiners, and clearly you have been doing pretty damn well.
Thank you. I couldn't do it without you, Mike, obviously.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so Yeah, so Thunder Founder, we are live with Thunder Founder. I think some of the people in this space already have invested. We're gonna, so it's, I don't know, you could probably explain Thunder Founder better than I can, but it's crowdfunding, but you actually end up owning equity in the company. So you can buy a piece of Orange Flap, and we raised 52,000 so far. It's closing on Monday, so there's a few days left, um, and we have raised $52,000 from 75 people. Some people have double dipped, so maybe it's less than that. But yeah, you can buy some shares of the company, and then excuse me. And then the other question is, how do we accumulate? So we have, I think we're gonna end up. I mean, I know we're gonna end up with four. Right now, we have 3.6 Bitcoin in the treasury, and we're gonna end up with more than four once this Thunder Fund closes. And yeah, I mean, at some point, I realized we're a Bitcoin company. We want to live on a Bitcoin standard, and so we converted back in 2023 all of the money that I've raised. I mean, not all of them, but most of the money that I've raised while Silicon Valley Bank was going bankrupt. I was living literally like, I don't know, 20 miles from the bank. And I'm like, what's going to happen to all this money that, the investor gave me? They're in another bank. So I thought everybody, I thought the whole banking system was going to get, in trouble. So I converted to Bitcoin when Bitcoin was like 20,000. And then I was like, okay, then once the storm has passed, we're going to go back to cash. And then Bitcoin started rallying because of the Silicon Valley Bank. And I'm like, I don't need to go back to cash. Like we sell Bitcoin, every now and then when we have to pay some CapEx or OpEx, whatever, like some expenses, like, but other than that, I'm like, okay, the goal of Orange Flap is to accumulate Bitcoin, right? It's not to accumulate fiat. We're a Bitcoin company, so we want to acquire Bitcoin, not fiat. And and so after that, I'm like, okay, we're gonna try to increase the balance sheet with Bitcoin, which also makes easier to raise fund, because in the Bitcoin world, the question is, why would I invest in a Bitcoin company when I can just buy the Bitcoin? And so now, if we own Bitcoin, if you invest in a company that is profitable and own Bitcoin in its balance sheet, then you cannot get the best of both worlds, because the company is going to grow, plus the treasury is going to grow because the Bitcoin price goes up over the long term. And so that's the strategy. So the strategy is to accumulate as many Bitcoin as possible. Fold, there's 1,000 Bitcoin. They're a public company now, and I was checking the market cap today because somebody asked that question. I think the market cap is $388 million, which is very generous. But the point is, they have 1,000 Bitcoin. So if you're an investor, if you understand Bitcoin, like in 5 years, if Bitcoin is $500,000, let's just say, then the 4 Bitcoin that we have will be $2 million. So if the company is worth 10 today, then in few years, like half of the value will already be compensated by the Bitcoin itself plus the business. And so so we the goal is to acquire Bitcoin. And what was the other question, Mike?
Yeah, no, that's good. And a lot of people, wonder, why would you invest in a Bitcoin company when you can just buy Bitcoin? And obviously you should buy Bitcoin first, and we're all going to buy Bitcoin for the rest of our life. But, we like to think of it as, saving in Bitcoin and investing in Bitcoin startups. And, you can get indirect exposure to Bitcoin through companies that have Bitcoin on their treasury. It's a mini MicroStrategy style right there with every one of these companies. If anyone wants to speak or has questions for Matteo, click the button and all that good stuff, and y'all can jump in.
Yeah, the micros. Yeah, we need to start issuing bonds at 0% coupon, Mike. How are we gonna do that? So
Maybe next year.
yeah. So your wife figured out how to do the tweet, but I couldn't. Amazing.
I can't figure it out either.
How did she do
So you have some investors already that are pretty notable. Who
it? Yeah.
else do you have on your cap table right now?
Well, we have Bob Burnett, which is the CEO of Barefoot Mining, and it's all about mining. And used to be the CEO of Gateway. If you're old enough, you probably remember Gateway. And then we have Matthew Della Vedova, which was an NBA champion. Actually, it's the first investor. It's the guy that convinced you to invest. Um, so he's a NBA guy, the only NBA Orange Pill NBA player, and yeah, he signed up on the app, and then people told me, "Hey, I think you have a scammer pretending to be an NBA guy that gives tickets." And I'm like, "We just launched. We already have a scammer." And obviously we have a paywall, so that's the goal, is to eliminate the spammers and scammers. So I reach out to these guys, say, "Hey, who the hell are you?" Like, plus I don't know anything about NBA. I mean, I only know like LeBron and Stephen Curry. So I saw these guys, like, like, who's this guy? So I kind of call him out. They said, "Oh yeah, we ended up on a phone call that lasted an hour." And I said, "I'm sorry I called you a scammer, but I didn't know who you were," and so on and so forth. And then they said, "I like what you're doing." And what he was doing, he was flying to the cities with the team. And as soon as he landed, he would open the app, see who's around, and give them free tickets to the games that he was playing, like courtside. After the game, he would go and meet them on court and take pictures. And it's like, I have like 100,000 followers on Twitter and Instagram, whatever. If I put a tweet to say, "Hey, who wants free tickets for this game?" I'm gonna get like 1,000 DM. I have no idea what they are. I have no idea if they're in Bitcoin. But with your little app that we just launched, like, I know we have like 300 members, maybe 500. Like, I know for sure that the people that are in this app, because of the paywall. By the way, that's really the magic of this app, is the paywall. Because of the paywall, the only people that gets in are like all iSignal. And so he was like, inviting everybody, and people were like, "I can't believe it. I paid $3 to join this app, and I'm getting free tickets, and I'm, chatting with an NBA champion. It's like amazing." So he's an investor. You're a guy's an investor, Lighting Ventures. And yeah, that's and then we have a bunch of, like, some users have invested a lot of money, actually. Some people that, that not famous in Bitcoin or not famous at all, like, they give me like they invested into the company with a safe note. So yeah, it's Orange Pill app is a community app, so I like to get the community as involved as possible. And so that's one of the reasons why we're doing this standard funder thing. It's not like we're gonna raise millions, but we get, people get to own the company, which I think is very cool.
Yeah, I mean, your roadmap is, kind of crazy. I mean, the event coordination and tickets. I mean, this thing is screaming tickets. I remember when you just launched the meetups, and that was a big deal. Scraping and getting events into the app. But selling tickets, there really isn't a great way. I mean, OpenNode has a lot to be desired. ZapRight, same thing. Those are great products for other purposes, but as far as ticketing goes, I remember we were the guinea pig with I think our first official Rakamoto, where you over a weekend spun up a ticket page for us. You didn't have to actually be on the Orange Pill app to do it. And it worked great. It worked better than anything. And you kind of had this idea, or you were going to do it anyways, but that was a good excuse. So, like, how does the commission work for the ticketing platform?
Yeah, so the ticketing platform that I built back in for you was like, on a website, and we use some technology. But what we're gonna build, so the next step would be now the wallet. I think we're done with the innovation. I can't think of any other thing to build, like, uh, and so after the wallet, we're gonna build the RSVP in app. which is something that people have asked me forever. So you can do the RSVP app, you can see who's going to an event and that kind of stuff. And then after that, because we have the wallet now, we can do the ticketing inside the app. So you'll be able to buy or sell a ticket to the app using your wallet that now everybody has. So you don't have to try to find a wallet and I don't have SaaS, the channel doesn't work, that kind of stuff. And so the commission is going to be 6.15%, which if you've been in Bitcoin long enough, you remember the meme, maybe. Do you know the meme, Mike?
Yeah, but your commission's got to go down to 3 point,
The meme is 6.15%, but and also it's like it's very fair because I think Eventbrite takes like 8 or 9.
Eventbrite's a total scam, and there's no Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly. There's no Bitcoin, exactly. So the beauty about Bitcoin, here's the beauty about Bitcoin. Number one, you get it immediately. There is no delay. You sell a ticket, you get the money, literally like the next second. Number two, hopefully the IRS is not in the chat, but there is no reporting, right? It's all it's kind of like cash. So I like that. And number three, it's it's so by the way, the ticketing will be Bitcoin only, of course. We're never gonna touch. So in the app, so if you go on the wallet, for example, there is no dollar value or there is no euro value. It's only sats because we believe in a Bitcoin world and a Bitcoin standard. So it will be so it's gonna be Bitcoin only. It's gonna be non KYC, right? And it's gonna be instant settlement, and there's no taxes, there's no reporting. So it's kind of the best ticketing platform you can think of.
So I see that my personal therapist, technical advisor, and good friend Uncle Rockstar is in here. He probably doesn't want to take that speaker invite because he's probably having dinner with Michael Saylor right now or something. He's probably got better things to do. But you took a lot of crap early on with Nostr. And late last year, you had the login and sign up with NPubs, and the ability to put that into the app. So what are your thoughts on Nostr right now?
Well, my nickname is Peter Schiff of Nostr. I don't know if you heard that. In any case, it's funny. But yeah, so yeah, we launched last I think December we launched Nostr Login, which was very well received. And then with the wallet, we actually implemented a lot of Nostr features. So we have NWC, which is Nostr Wallet Connect. Basically, you can use the sats on your Orange Pill app wallet to zap people on Nostr, which I think is very cool. And then we have also implemented NAP 59, which is the other way around. So when you get sats on Nostr, they'll end up in your Bitcoin wallet in Orange Lab. So it's very integrated with Nostr. As much as we can. Obviously, Nostr is like open and public, and we are like private and closed, right? Kind of the opposite of Nostr because it's paywall and there is no feed. And so as much as we could integrate it, we have done it. And so yeah, people have loved it. We have a lot of sign up with Nostr, like a lot, like maybe 1/3 now of the sign up are via Nostr, which is pretty cool.
But does that automatically bring in your follows on Nostr the same way that like Zapstream or one of these other?
No. We don't because I guess we could do that. It's a good question. No, we don't do that, by the way, because the way Orange Pill works, you have to connect to each person one by one, right? There's no follow, there is no feed. It's very different from Nostr or other social media. In fact, it's not social media, it's a social network. But yeah, we don't do that. We don't do like, I guess you could say, you use your MPub, and then we can see who you follow, and if they're also an Orange Lab, you're automatically connected. But then there is no feed, so you wouldn't know anyway. So no, we don't do that. I don't think it makes much sense.
Yeah, well, you have a pretty lofty roadmap with other things like video and voice calls,
Yep.
which to
Yep.
me seem crazy to build out. So, I mean, do you envision a time here, maybe within the next 12 months, where you would have something similar to a Spaces like this on the Orange Pill app?
No, because so the goal of Orange Lab is to go offline. It's not to stay online, right? So that's the goal. And so we don't, that's why we don't have a feed. That's why we don't have, so the Spaces is another way to stay more online. But the goal of Orange Lab is to find somebody, or find a meetup, or find a merchant, and go and meet them in person, right? That's the value proposition of Orange Lab. So there's not going to be Spaces. By the way, also you don't want to compete with Twitter. It's not a good idea. Um, so we're gonna launch video call and voice call because people have told me this. I don't want to give my phone number to somebody in Orange Lab. Like they don't want to give any other information, but they might want to have a call with somebody before they meet them, just to kind of get a vibe. And so they say, okay, makes sense there. Um, and it's not that, technically speaking, it's not that difficult to add video and voice call. And so yeah, so then we're gonna launch. So that's the last thing of the. So the next 12 months roadmap is RSVP, and then the ticketing platform, and then we're gonna launch. We already have a website for events, but it's not that developed. We're gonna launch a competitor to Luma Events. I don't know if you ever use it, Mike.
Yeah.
They're getting a lot of business from Meetup because Meetup sucks. And also, it's very expensive now. It's like $3 a month. And so I see people on Orange Lab sharing links for Luma, and I'm like, why do you guys share links for Luma when we have our own events? You can get the links. And they told me because on Luma you can do things that you cannot do on Orange Lab. And I say, okay, I get it. So we'll build. So once we have the RSVP and the ticketing platform in the app and the infrastructure, then we'll build a website that is as beautiful as Luma, and it does all the things that you can do on the app. So you'll be able to buy and sell tickets, for example. Well, you'll be able to buy tickets on the website without a membership. But if you want to sell tickets, you're gonna need a membership, right? And so that's the other big part of the roadmap. So RSVP, event website, ticketing, and video and voice call.
So I know that you're anti-feed, which I think I disagree with you on that. But you on your roadmap here is a local feed.
Mm-hmm.
So is that local feed just for events? I don't understand what a local feed is.
Yeah, so we already have local feed. There's one in Miami. There's one in Miami, one in Los Angeles, one in New York, and one in London. They're not very well used, which is kind of aligned with my impression. The local feed is like, because here's what happened. Somebody told me once, I'm going to this city. I don't remember which city, but whatever. Let's say Denver. And I don't want to message everybody in Denver. I want to have a feed where I say, I'm in town for the next 3 days. And then if people want to reach out to me, they can reach out to me. I'm like, that makes sense. So it's local only. So you actually have to physically be in that city to be able to view or post in that feed. And there is no likes, there is no retweet. Actually, there's not even replies. You can only message the person that make a post. And so it's a feed, but it's very unique because it's local. So there's no such thing as local feeds in Twitter or Nostr, right? So if there are the founders on this call, I mean, one of my advice would be don't try to compete with multi-billion-dollar companies because it's very hard. And so that's one of the reasons. So number one, again, the feeds, it's kind of a trap to keep you more online, right? And two, once you add the feed, Mike, in Orange Pill app, people are gonna say, "Why the hell am I paying for this app when the feed is like, I don't know, 100 active of Twitter or even Nostr?" And then eventually they stop paying the membership. So we're never gonna have a feed. I know I said the same about the wallet, but it's different than the feed. Yeah, the feed goes against our mission, let's say.
All right, cool. Well, listen, we have a hand up here from Charlene. What's up?
Hey, Mike. Hey, Mateo. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So, yeah. So first of all, congrats on just the amazing success of Orange Pill app. I'm one of the Bitcoiners that's been following your journey, and it's really exciting. I think it's so incredible to me that there's only one app that is leaning into the social layer of Bitcoin. Like, the social layer is the most important part of Bitcoin, the people, the relationships, the community. So kudos to you for recognizing that and building a business around it. So I have two questions for you, Mateo. The first one is, we are moving into this age of AI and agentic technology. And I'm curious, you have a pretty incredible roadmap for the Orange Pill app. Are you thinking about AI? And if you are, how are you thinking about it to serve your customers better?
Yeah, I mean, I think about AI a lot actually, because it's one of the most interesting technology we ever got, and we're kind of the anti-AI app, right? Because
Uh-oh.
yeah. So
Say more. Tell me more.
yeah, because the goal of Orange Pill app is to actually connect with humans in person. So it's really the opposite of what you want to do with AI. So with an AI, you want to be on. Obviously, you can only be online with an AI. I guess you can have robots in the future. I don't know. We'll see. But as of now, when you interact with an AI, number one is online, and number one, it's obviously it's not in person, and number three is not about wanting to talk to a human. You want to talk to an AI, and so I can tell you one of the ideas that I had. Maybe we'll do it. I don't know. We'll see. Is to make the wallet in the app an AI wallet. Which, what does that mean? So basically, right now, like the geo zapping and the mass zapping and the proximity zapping that we do is kind of like old school software. It's like, like if this, then that.
Mm-hmm.
But we could do something special where we take our database, we feed it into an LLM, which obviously will be local. We're not going to give our data to ChatGPT, but now you can have like local open source LLMs. And then instead of you could do all kinds of zapping. For example, you could say zap everybody in the app that has laser eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, for us to build that, we'd have to scan all the pictures and then mark them as laser eyes, and then put in the database a flag. It's it's doable, but it's not as with an LLM would be much cooler. And then you could do like zap everybody that sign up on January 1st, 2025. You could do all kind of stuff. So you could say there would be the first Bitcoin AI wallet. So that's the only way I can see AI being used in Orange Pill app. But other than that, the goal is to be the anti company, which, by the way, this is a little bit philosophical, but when there's this new technological trend, there's actually two ways to make money. One is to bet with the trend, and one is to bet against the trend. So I don't know if you know this. For example, the co-founder of Twitter is called Evie Williams. I don't know if you ever heard. It's actually the real founder of Twitter.
Evan Williams.
Evan Williams. Yeah. He just launched an app. He's actually in LA. It's close to me. But anyway, he just launched an app where it's about going offline. Basically, it's like, oh, my friends are in town, but I never know about it because on Twitter you don't know this stuff. So he just created an app where it's actually you just go offline with the app, and I think this is going to be the trend. Like for the last 3 years, the business was onboard human online, and I think the AI agents are gonna just dominate online so much that the new business model will be off-board humans from online to offline.
I think I think I would agree to you. I also think that humans, we are changing. I think the experience that we want coming out of COVID is different. There's nothing that beats a Bitcoin meetup or a conference. And I think that experience is that, proves in the broader world as well. So thank you for that. And I had another question. So I'm a Bitcoiner and I travel quite a bit, and more now than ever before, I'm concerned about safety. So I'm curious about, how do you manage safety within the Orange Pill app when you have people local saying, "Hey, anybody want to meet up?" How do you ensure, or are you thinking about safety and how folks can connect in a very safe manner in this age of wrench attacks and, all kinds of other things that are happening in the space?
Yeah, no, I mean that's why we have a paywall, right? That's reason number one why we have a paywall. It's because you know uh, we don't want to have people. Of course, when we scale, right? When you have 15,000 people, eventually we're gonna have 100,000 people. So by the way, so far there's never been any attack. Nobody's ever been. Nothing bad has ever happened on Orange Club. Only good things. Of course, once you have 100,000, 200,000, eventually there's gonna be some bad. That's just the nature of like a large scale business. But the only way we can do is put a paywall so that the bad actor don't get in, which I think why we haven't had any accident for like almost 3 years now. Because the scammers and the spammers, the way they operate, they do like, I'm gonna create 1,000 bots on Twitter and I'm gonna send 1,000 DM, and then out of 1,000, maybe 1% will fall for my scam, and then it will cost me nothing except some software, and so it makes sense. But now, if you have to create 1,000 membership at $3, that's $3,000. So you have to at least scam somebody of $3,000 to just break in. It's economically unfeasible, right? So the way to protect the network is to make it economic and feasible to attack it, right? And that's the best way to do it. And then the other thing, like this app is only actually you need to be 17 to download it. It's only for adults. So when you meet somebody, don't bring your seed phrase, don't bring your wallet, and if somebody asks you your ID, just run away. I don't know.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, sure.
So, Matteo, for some of those in-person things, what are some of the wild stories that have happened? I know that, when the fires in California, somebody came to the rescue for you. I heard something about someone getting married.
Yeah.
You must have quite a few weird things that have happened so far.
Yeah, no, it's obviously the NBA guy inviting everybody to the games was the first cool story. Yeah, somebody got married through Orange Lab. They didn't invite me, which is okay. But so somebody got married. Somebody got married, male and female, by the way, not just male and male. And then there's a pilot in Florida that I don't know if he still does it, but he was giving free lessons to everybody on Orange Lab. It was just taking people around on his plane for free, just for fun. So I live in Los Angeles. I live in Los Angeles, and I was very close to the fire. And when the fire broke out, somebody in Orange said, "Hey, man, if you need a place to stay," but he's out of LA, right? So I was like, I have a lot of friends in LA, and then the fires just kept getting bigger and bigger, and I realized if I evacuate from my house, there's no point going to my friend's house like 5 miles away. I need to go outside of LA, and then I end up at this house, at this guy that I think I never met before. Guest house. One time I went to Madeira for the conference. Another crazy story. I booked an Airbnb and my flight landed at midnight. So the host told me, "I'm not gonna wait for you to give you the keys. Figure out a way to get the keys." And then because the event have group chats, I went to the Bitcoin Madeira group chat. Hey guys, I'm landing late. Anybody can go grab the keys from me. Let me know. And then somebody said, yeah, sure, man. I'll go and grab them. And then he put them like, he had them in a little park, and I was in the middle of the night, couldn't find the kid. But yeah, it's the beautiful thing about kind of this app and in Bitcoiners, I think in general, is that in Bitcoin we say don't trust, verify, but when it comes to like the social network, it's kind of the opposite. Like if I meet a Bitcoiner, especially on Orange Lab, there's a paywall, so I know they're real Bitcoiners. I immediately kind of trust them, right? Obviously, there's degrees of trust, but there's a level of trust that is already implied because you've been to the Bitcoin. Everybody make fun of you, all your friends, and your family. Maybe you've been through like kind of bear market, and everybody thinks you're an idiot, and you're still around here, and so that creates this special bonds. In a way, I obviously, I don't want to exaggerate, but in a way, it's like if you go to war and then you meet another person that went to war, you kind of like trust each other already because you went through the same like a strong experience. And so yeah, so there's it's a lot of crazy story, but yeah, these are some.
In school there's like a term for that. It's called shared suffering. It is. I don't want to say it's a trauma bond, but it's actually a real psychological phenomenon where it brings people together when you've had a common experience, and even if the experience is painful, it brings people together in a positive way. So I agree with you.
I mean, the bear markets are very painful, so that is shared suffering. But
Absolutely.
I wanted to add, I'm just going to jump in terms of safety. I think when the calls, the video audio introduced, like if there's any question of, oh, is this person legit or whatever, you can always just do a quick call before you meet up. So I think that'll be even more helpful.
Yeah, no, that's exactly why people have told me they wanna call people on Orange Lab.
So, Matteo, some questions on the sustainability of your business model with the way that your pricing works. So, I personally do not like subscriptions. I don't need another subscription, and I've paid for 2 Orange Pill app accounts, both with a lifetime membership with Bitcoin. And in 10 years, that will turn out to be the most expensive app that I've probably ever paid for.
Well, even today.
What do you mean?
How many apps do you pay for?
Well, I guess you know what I mean. I just mean with the price of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I
get it.
If we have a $2 million Bitcoin price, looking at however many sats I paid for the Orange Pill apps.
I think you'll be fine, but go ahead.
Yeah. But when you think about your revenue in a percentage basis for how many people are paying every month, with their Apple subscription or, I mean, with the subscription versus how many people have paid you once, how does that affect your accounting and how you kind of book that revenue? Like, how are you thinking about it in the future? And do you see a way besides the wallet, which just as you said, a 1% fee to take your sats off of the Orange Pill app wallet, that provides some recurring revenue for, your lifetime paid members moving forward. But are there going to be other ways to kind of monetize those lifetime members?
Well, the ticketing, right? 6.15% commission when they buy a ticket, and you might expect that the people that buy a lifetime membership on Orange Pill app, they probably are the one they're most likely to go to a conference, right? So I think that's one way. And in terms of the way I think about this, it's a very different business because it's a network product. So in a network product, the more people use the product, the better the product it is, right? And so when somebody pay $100 up front before they even see what the app is like, I promise you, they're going to be very active on the app. They're going to message people. They're going to make the product better, which then brings the monthly or yearly membership, right? So in a way, it's not just one-off, like you sell shoes and that's it. In a network product, the more people use the product, the better is the product itself. So it's a way to incentivize people to use the app. And yeah, I mean, like if you asked me that question 2 years ago, for example, Mike, I wouldn't have said we're gonna have a wallet and we're gonna charge 1%. And I probably wouldn't have said we're gonna have a ticketing platform which charges 6.15%. So most likely between now and the next 2 years, I'm gonna come out with other products and other features that I cannot think of now. The same way before we launched the wallet, I didn't know about geo zapping or mass zapping. Then you launch the product and you figure out, oh, we could also do this stuff. So if you have a captive audience, and there's always a way to monetize, besides selling their data, which is the only thing that we would never do.
Matteo, I have another question. And I just want to, if you could take us back to the beginning, what was that initial seed that planted the inspiration for the Orange Pill app? I'd love to hear that story.
Yeah. So I told that story many times, but I give you the TLDR. Basically, what happened is I got into Bitcoin 2017, 2018. And then by 2020, I was all in, like a Bitcoin maxi. And then I was like, it's kind of lonely, nobody wants to hear about it, like all of my family, literally nobody wanted to hear about Bitcoin, especially when Bitcoin goes down, right? So I said, okay, let's go to a conference. So I went to Bitcoin Miami in 2021. Yeah. When Bukele announced the Bitcoin El Salvador, legal tender. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is amazing. I met all these people, they're all strange. I didn't know anybody. And in fact, I think I brought one of my friends with me to Miami that he wasn't even a Bitcoiner. And so I'm like, okay, so I went back to Los Angeles. And I'm like, okay, let's go find Bitcoiners in Los Angeles. There must be some. So I went to Meetup, and I found the Meetup in 1 hour away from my house. This was maybe October of 2021, right? So literally the peak of the bull run. And I went to this Meetup, which was advertised as a Bitcoin Meetup. Obviously, I didn't know anybody, so it's kind of awkward, whatever. And then half of the people at that Bitcoin Meetup were like NFT, Ethereum. And I'm like, what a waste of time. Like I drove an hour, So as I was driving back home, I started wondering, maybe there's something else that I can do to find Bitcoiners besides going to a meetup, because obviously that didn't work. And there wasn't see, on Twitter, back then there's only Twitter, but even on Nostr it's the same. You don't know where people are, right? And so I just I didn't have a job. I was kind of semi-retired, And so I kept thinking about this problem, like, how am I gonna find Bitcoiners? Because my friends are tired of me talking about Bitcoiners, about Bitcoin. And so eventually somebody told me, he was building a dating app for others, other demographic. I said, so that's how you find people local that have the same interest. You have geolocation from the phone, and you have profiles, you have DMs. And then the last piece of the puzzle was, how do I prevent this app from being like the Meetup, And that's how I came out with the idea of the paywall. Because the only way to kind of like proof of work in a way, the only way to filter people is to make them pay. Because I live, so the way I thought about it back then was like, if I saw this app, I didn't build this app. If I was like a Bitcoiner, somebody built this app, like, would I pay? Back then was $2, but whatever. Would I pay $3 to meet another Bitcoiner? Obviously, the answer is yes. Because if you go to a meetup, you pay more in beers and gas and parking. And so I figure, also I hate advertising. I never wanted, I also think it's very anti-Bitcoin, like selling user data. I think it's very anti-Bitcoin in principle. And then the other thing was like, I had companies before, some have been successful, some have failed. And one thing I've learned is like, you want to find out as quickly as possible if people actually need that product that you're building, and the only way to find out is to make them pay. And so I said, we're launching with a paywall. It's gonna take care of the bots and the spammers, and and then we launched in November. Actually, at Pacific Bitcoin, literally like FTX blew up on a Friday. We launched next Wednesday, which in retrospect was like,
Wow.
In retrospect was like the
Amazing.
best possible time to launch this app, because when Bitcoin is 16,000, after being 69,000, literally nobody wants to hear about Bitcoin.
That's right. That's the tourists are gone, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Not only the tourists are gone, but the Bitcoin maxi, they're even more lonely, because literally the family think, what the hell did you do? You lost half of the money, but whatever. And so we launched, and Pacific Bitcoin, and we got lucky because Bitcoin Magazine wrote about us. So the first day we had like 300 sign up.
Nice.
I think Mike was there. I remember he didn't want to invest, and he was like, "How many sign up did you get?" And I was refreshing the browser, 100, and then 110. I was like, by the end of the day, it was like 300. I was like, it was like amazing, So that's the inception story.
That's awesome. And I remember when I started in Bitcoin, it was on Clubhouse. So that tracks totally. You needed a collective way to connect. And then Clubhouse kind of fizzled after 2020, after COVID. I did have one other follow-up question. I'm curious about the geographic split on the Orange Pill app. So I know we're heavy US, but we know Bitcoin's a global currency. Can you give us a sense of where people are, just, countries, regions of the world, et cetera?
Yeah. So actually, you can see by yourself. There's a little page that I created called orangepillup.com/explorer, and you can see. Obviously, it's very approximate. You can see the numbers for each country. So the US is 40% of all our user base. Canada, it's 20%, but they have less people. So per capita, Canada is our biggest market in the world. So it's US, Canada, UK, Germany, Australia. It's pretty good. I mean, there's somebody in Greenland, I don't know what they're doing, but you can GeoZap and you type Greenland, and it shows how many people are in Greenland. But there are now people like literally everywhere. Somebody in Iceland told me, I don't know if anybody's gonna be on the app, and I'm like, you're in Iceland. What are you talking about? And it's like you're gonna be the first, and then maybe somebody will fly to Iceland and have a layover, and literally that's what he signed out with a lifetime membership. And then he told me like 6 months, man, you were right. Somebody like was laying over in Iceland, and we had a meetup. Yeah, so it's mostly US, US, Canada, UK. So the top three is US, Canada, and UK, but we have literally user like anywhere.
Nice. I'll give you a plug. So I recently moved to Australia, and one of the first things someone said to me, they're like, "Oh, you're in Australia. You should download the Orange Pill app and see who's in your city." So there you go. Folks are really using it for exactly what it's designed for.
Yeah. No, Australians are great.
Yeah, huge Bitcoin community here. Very smaller community, but very tight and very committed. It's really wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Mike, are you back as a co-host? Yeah.
So the difference between merchants and partners, it's not like a BTC Maps, which I don't know why you wouldn't put in a BTC Maps type of deal where you could really see it.
Yeah, I can explain, but go ahead.
But people are paying to be a merchant, right? So I'm a dentist. If I'm a dentist in Queens,
Nice.
but I love Bitcoin and I love the Orange Pill app, what am I doing? I'm paying as a merchant to kind of like advertise or be listed in the app. I mean, I've done a few searches in my area. There aren't a ton of merchants around me, but how does that work?
Yeah, so the merchants have to pay like everybody else. Like literally nobody's on the app for free. But yeah, the merchants are kind of like So let me first address why we don't use BTC Map. Although I love Nathan, I know him for a long time. The problem with BTC Map is free, and so it's very inaccurate. Like the data is maybe like 50% accurate, and so we don't want to do that. We don't want to have people drive to a place because they saw on Orange Cloud they accept Bitcoin, and then they don't even know what Bitcoin is because maybe the granddaughter signed them up 3 years ago, right? Which unfortunately is the case for BTC Map. And so yeah, so it's we have less number, but we always wanted to go after quality instead of quantity. Because my thesis is that if you go after quality, you'll end up with the quantity. If you go after quantity, maybe you will end up with the quality. Most likely, you won't end up with the quality. And yeah, so they pay. They have the profile. They can put the hours. You know, they can put a telephone number. You can call them. You can chat them. And yeah, it's I think we have 110 now, 120. It's not well developed, but what I've learned is that unfortunately, Bitcoiners don't want to spend Bitcoin, and so whether it's BTC Map or Orange Lab or other merchant apps, they don't get a lot of traffic because of these reluctancy of spending Bitcoin from Bitcoiners.
Oh my gosh, Matteo, I have breaking news.
Let's go. What happened?
Someone just invested in the Orange Pill app on Thunder Funder.
That's amazing.
If that person's here and wants to dox himself,
I think somebody just messaged me. Let me invite
so
him.
Look, Matteo, you know what everyone wants, and you know what I want, even though I'm married, but I think it would be great for the app. Why do you not have more dating features for those single Bitcoiners, Matteo? Let them put how about a status in their profile that says like single, in a relationship, it's complicated.
Yeah.
Use some of those old classics.
No, I can tell you why. I can tell you why. So there's an app called Bumble. You probably heard about it. It's like a lady.
We know it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Ladies first dating app, basically. And what they did, they launched Bumble for Friends. By the way, Bumble, I think, is a public company. They have plenty of users, plenty of money, right? And they have launched Bumble for Friends. And guess what? Nobody uses it. Why? Because nobody wants to go on a dating app to make friends. However, if I ask you, what is the biggest dating app in the world? You're probably going to say Tinder. In reality, the biggest dating app in the world is Instagram. Even though it's not a dating app, because it's got scale, right? It's got like 1 billion users. So you don't need to be advertising yourself as a dating app to be used as a dating app. Like, again, we already have a marriage. But if you advertise yourself as a dating app, you're gonna lose the people. I mean, you probably won't believe me, Mike, but I promise you, when we launch, there was a joke. Orange Flop is a dating app, and you won't believe how many times somebody told me, "I love to sign up on Orange Flop, but my wife won't let me do that." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" "Yes, they don't want me to join another dating app." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, you." Actually had to change like the graphics, whatever. That's the reason we don't want to. And also, as an investor, I'm sure you understand this. What is the total addressable market of single Bitcoiners? What do you think? 10,000 people in the world?
I couldn't even guess, but I would probably say a lot. I'd probably say Bitcoin is first off heavily men.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Even though that's changed a lot.
Yeah. So it's yeah, I cannot. So yeah, so it would be a product mistake to add dating app features, because then people stop using the app to do what the app is supposed to be, which is like a network.
Yeah, actually what you said about Instagram actually makes a ton of sense, and I won't give you any more crap about not being a dating app.
Yes, thank you, Michael. And you don't need to give him any crap about it. I really respected Matteo, and this is about Bitcoin's social layer. And social layer implies some sort of love layer when you make those connections eventually, and if you're looking for, significant other. But I respect that a lot, and this is all about community, and really love the mission. And Orange Pill app was my first ever angel investment, or I guess this wouldn't be considered angel investment, but and I felt like such a grown up.
Nice.
Until like, I've never invested in companies. I really never played with stocks. I just buy Bitcoin with everything that I make, and yeah, no, it was awesome. I'm super excited and pumped, and the geo zapping is absolutely incredible. I logged in today. I had all these zaps, made my day.
Yeah, Jude Zapping is definitely something very unique. And somebody told me like if you guys remember the Canadian truck protest, like how cool would it be that you could just zap everybody in like I don't know the city I don't know was Vancouver. I don't know what city it was, but instead of asking for an invoice, you know, uh, you could just zap everybody in a city. Which is gonna it's gonna unlock a lot of use cases that probably I can even think about it. Yeah, it's a very
Matteo.
cool feature. I love it.
Yeah, Matteo, I wanted to add, so I do respect the no feed policy. I get it that you're not trying to like replicate a social media type of feed, but something about like zap, like seeing who zaps who, like you don't even have to put amounts, but I find it entertaining. Like I don't know why when I first like years ago signed on Venmo,
Yeah,
and suddenly I saw all my friends like sending each other money. Like
I
it
don't
was
think.
kind of mind blowing.
Yeah,
Like, oh, who is sending
yeah.
who? And then you're like sitting there like, interesting. Where did they go?
I don't know if Bitcoiners will like that feature. To be honest, I think Bitcoiners are mostly private, and the last thing they want to know, like everybody know who they send Zap to. I mean, I always turn off the feature on Venmo even before I had a Bitcoin, so I don't know.
we we can we can ask the audience. Raise your hand if you want to see your friends zap your friends. I don't know. I guess it's hard to do this on Spaces.
Yeah. So everything we build is privacy first, I mean, we get a lot of flack because geolocation and all that kind of stuff. And so we're very, careful when introducing new feature that it's always we can always, you start with privacy first and then people I can't even tell you how many times I built things that were like so private that people's like, I can't even use this app. For example, the geolocation at the beginning, it will not update unless you restart the app. So people will get on a plane, go to a different continent, open the app, which was never closed, and they will still see people in the previous continent. And I'm like, how do I do that? So, oh, you have to restart the app because, privacy, privacy, privacy. And now you can just, scroll down and you refresh the location. But it's a balance act to give features and at the same time be as private as possible.
All
Yeah.
right, Matteo, it's been an hour here. Let's do a quick recap on your company today. You have some all-star advisors we didn't even talk about. We touched on your investors and your roadmap and your path to 10 million ARR, which you're shooting for. You've made actually amazing progress and revenue in a short period of time. You're running a profitable company. You want to give kind of a high level closing on, how would you explain Orange Pill app to somebody who has no idea, and why you're excited about this and kind of who you've got on your team?
Yeah, so yeah, we have great advisor, Knut Svanholm, Daniel Prince, Nico from Simply Bitcoin, many advisors. Brian DeMint, which is on the mountain, so he couldn't join today, is a marketing guy. Then we have amazing developers. Honestly, the best part is the developers that nobody knows who they are, and they work behind the scene and they made the product possible. In terms of revenue, yeah. So last year we did almost $300,000 of revenue, which it was our second year in business. So not bad. I think we more than doubled from the year before. And I mean, what I'm excited because there's always going to be more Bitcoiners. Every day there's more Bitcoin Maxi. They're like minted, and so this, although it's a niche, is an ever-growing niche, which is actually a great place to be to build a business. You want to be in a niche because you don't have competition and you can just focus on like delivering as much value as you can to a small group of people. But the niche is growing every day, every month, every year. And also, I mean, the most exciting thing now, the price is now reflecting that, but the most exciting thing is the US administration being super pro Bitcoin, which at some point will bring the price up and will obviously be another. It's like the easiest way to orange shoot people. Like nobody's gonna think, oh, Bitcoin is gonna get banned. Obviously, all these fad things are gone, and so we're in. I believe in the Bitcoin ecosystem just growing kind of exponentially almost. And we're the only app that kind of does the social layer when it comes to like the networking part. And we've been profitable almost since the beginning because the paywall. Either this app was gonna die soon or was gonna be profitable. There was no in between. And I look forward to build more features and providing as much value as possible to the Bitcoin community.
Cool, man. Well, we are thrilled to support you. And last final shameless plug. If anyone wants to go to thunderfunder.com, this campaign is open through March 31st. That is 11:59 p.m. on Monday. So we will be shilling the hell out of the Orange Pill app. So Matteo, will you be in Las Vegas alongside 20,000 Bitcoiners?
I will be in Las Vegas. I'm very close to Las Vegas. Yeah, I will be there.
And by the way, people don't necessarily know this, but the Orange Pill app has a pretty good referral structure.
Yeah, we pay. So when somebody sign up with the referral link, you get 5,000 sats. The best part about this referral program, there are no limits because everybody has to pay to join. So we can pay. Some people have made millions of sats in referral.
Very cool. All right. So last call. If nobody has any questions, I guess that's it. Matteo, any closing thoughts, or are we good?
I think we're good. I mean, if you're on this call and not Orange Pill app, join and meet Bitcoiners, go offline. Don't worry about the price. Have fun and enjoy life.
Cool, Matteo. Well, listen, thanks for hanging. We'll definitely see you in Vegas. I hope you get some new signups here. I hope we get some new investors. And it would be nice if the price goes up too,
Yeah, it would be nice. I agree.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thanks, everybody. Catch you soon.
Bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.